Order, please. Honourable Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I would ask for the consent of the House to revert to the order of business presenting reports of committees.
Is it agreed?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of the Minister of Justice, I directed to report that the Committee on Law Amendments has met and considered the following bills. Bill number 119, an act respecting the administration of agriculture. Bill number 125, an act reporting mandatory testing and disclosure to protect victims of crime and emergency. These people don't write very well, Mr. Speaker. And emergency personnel. I'll take it right from the bill, yes, much better. That mandatory testing and disclosure, I'm told by the Minister, yes. An act respecting mandatory testing and disclosure to protect victims of crime, emergency service workers, and other persons. Bill number 131, an act respecting policing in Nova Scotia. And Bill 119, an act respecting the administration of agriculture. The committee recommends the bills to favourable consideration of the House with certain amendments. And, Mr. Speaker, further, I am reporting that the Committee on Law Amendments has met and they considered the following bill. Bill number 87, a bill respecting electricity. The committee recommends this bill to the favourable condition of the House without amendment.
Bills be referred to the Committee of the whole House on Bills. The Honourable Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to do two bills through Committee of the whole House, and I would ask that the bills that I reported be added to the order paper for today. Agreed. And I'd like to call, Mr. Speaker, the bill.
On the Committee of the whole House on Bills?
I'm sorry, yes, we are, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move that unanimously the Chair and the House resolve the Committee of the whole House on bills.
Agreed? Agreed. Carried.
I'd like to recognize the Government House Leader.
Mr. Chairman, would you please call Bill number 119, the Agriculture Administration Amendment 2004 Act?
Bill 119. Is the House ready for the question? Oh, the Honourable Member for Hants East.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I stalled for a second, only thinking that the Minister may rise. I want to speak briefly on this bill. For the most part, this bill took care of a number of housekeeping items. I think it amended actually 6 acts. I might be wrong on that number, but somewhere close to that. And I say there was one issue of concern that the Minister was willing to delete, and that was just the issues that the NSGEU had on the status of employees going from appointments by Governor and Council to appointments by the Minister. The wording for them didn't seem to be as clear as what the Minister or his staff would indicate. But anyway, the Minister did address that, and I appreciate that of him. One point I do want to raise, and I want to be on the record as raising it. There was one issue in this, the Farm Registration Act, whereby the Federation of Agriculture actually had requested that the registration membership fees that presently farms or farmers can request to have rebated back to them. They wanted the power to retain those and not rebate them. Mr. Chair, this comes somewhere in the range of I think approximately $50,000, $50,000 to $60,000 in revenue for the Federation. I think about 2,500 farms that are registered in the province, about 300 per year make a case or make a request to have their membership dues rebated to them. So it's not a very large number, actually, out of the total, about 12%. So we were in support. And actually, to give a little history on this, at the annual general meeting of the Federation of Agriculture last December, the minister made a commitment to the Federation that he would bring this forward. So the Federation was certainly expecting this to happen. Before this bill came to the House, I asked the minister, actually the minister had come to me and my colleague in the Liberal Party and asked us if we were fine with this. In other words, were we going to hammer him if he brought this forward? And we gave him our assurance that we were fine with this. We were in support of the Federation of Agriculture's request, and we were not going to attack the minister on this if he brought this forward. He had our support. And I asked the minister prior to the bill coming to the House if this change was going to be in the legislation, and if this was going to be in legislation, and he assured me that it would. So it didn't come in the bill. I asked if he was going to amend it to see that it was in there. He told me that he would. When it went to law amendments, at least the hearing part, his staff was there, and when I spoke to them, they indicated they didn't have a clue what I was talking about. No one there had ever been asked to prepare or draft an amendment to that legislation. So I want to say I'm disappointed in the way this has turned out. I think the minister has a bit of accounting to do to the Federation. He's going to have to do some explaining to them why he gave them his commitment last year that he would do this and has backed away from it. And I'm curious as to why this, for whatever reason, seems to be tied up with the Minister of Justice. There seemed to be some negotiation with him on this. It's the first time I can remember much in the way of agriculture being bounced off the Minister of Justice, and I don't necessarily see this as a justice issue other than a social justice issue. So anyway, with those comments, I'll take my place and I'll rise again. Thank you.
Shall the clauses as amended pass? Shall the title pass? Shall the bill carry? Bill is carried. Honourable Government House Leader.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, would you please call the Bill number 125, the Mandatory Testing and Disclosure Act.
Bill number 125. Is the House ready for the question? Shall the clauses carry? Shall the title carry? Shall the bill carry? The bill is carried. I'll recognize the Government House Leader.
Chairman, I move that your committee do now rise and report these bills.
Is it agreed?
Agreed.
Chairman of the committee, whole House on bills reports.
Committee's met and considered two bills, namely 119 and 125, and the chairman's been instructed to recommend them to the favorable consideration of the House, each without amendment.
Will these bills be read a third time at a future date? The Honourable Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I believe
Service Nova Scotia Municipal Relations.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to introduce to members of the House, if I may, a group of grade 8 students from Madeline Simons Middle School who were just recently out on a wet walking tour of Halifax and now visiting us. With them today is Matthew Moriarty and Mary Beth Osborne, teachers. And if I could ask them to rise and receive the warm welcome of the House.
We welcome our young guests to gallery today, the Honourable Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move the House do now rise to meet again on Monday at the hour of 5 p.m. The House will sit from 5 p.m. until 10 p.m., Mr. Speaker, and the order of business will be public bills for third reading, public bills for committee of the whole House, and private and local and private public bills also on that same schedule. Mr. Speaker, before the House rises, though, I believe I should bring to the attention of the members of the House of the passing of a former librarian of the legislature for many years, and I can't remember how many years, but I know when I came here in '78, she was the librarian, Shirley Elliott. Shirley Elliott. Pardon? Order, and she had in 1954. So she served until 1993. Well, unfortunately, we haven't got that information here, but she served for a long, long time. She was a member of the Order of Nova Scotia, Mr. Speaker, a fabulous person, a person who knew the history of this place frontwards and backwards, and I don't think there was a question on the history of Province House that you could stump Shirley Elliott on. She was a great lady and a true friend of the legislature, Mr. Speaker, and perhaps we should rise for a moment of silence in memory of Shirley.
Rise a moment of silence for the late Shirley Elliott. Thank you. Please be seated. Honorable Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move the House to now adjourn.
Motion is the House adjourned till 5 p.m. on Monday. Is it agreed? All those in favor say aye. Contrary minded, nay. Motion is carried. The House adjourned till 5 p.m. Monday.